What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Retro Gamers podcast, number, 240-something. We're kind of doing this on the fly right now. As you can tell, because there's no video, Anthony is not here this week, but I am joined by two wonderful friends who we just had a wonderful outing with each other. First, I'll introduce Mario.
Hey, what's up? Wonderful, terrific, happy. It was
He's
great.
happy to be back.
Happy to be back.
And, of course, Jack is back.
Good old Jake.
Jake Jack. I keep getting his name mixed up.
You had me calling him Jack, too, because you kept calling him Jack. Jake, I apologize completely. He does this to me a lot.
Where does the spelling come from?
It's Polish.
It is Polish.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Jack's the American version.
Gotcha. I see the E in there. I want to see
Messes
Jake.
everyone up.
It does. So please, no offense.
None taken.
So you see, now I'm confused. What do I call him?
Call him Buddy.
Hey, Billy.
Call him Buddy.
Good old Bob.
So this might be a short episode because A, we have things to do, and B, really not much to talk about other than Game On. Introduced Jack to Game On, and we had a really fun time. I walked out with a lot more than I was hoping. But first, let's get, what are your thoughts? What do you think of Game On? Both spots that we actually ended up going to.
It's just amazing to be around like games, so many games and so many retro things, like so many Master Systems games especially. That was amazing. Their collection's insane.
I walked out with so much Master System. It's ridiculous.
Larry got to work out. He's benching 120 right now.
Yes, he did. But I have to say, Larry, you showed incredible restraint not buying that Voltron today.
Shh, don't talk about it. So no one knows it's there.
The Voltron that's not there.
But, as a modder, as we talked about before, with the ROMs and the hacks and everything like that, like to see anything interesting or
Sure,
cool
yeah.
there?
They had a lot of repro stuff, and some fan-based games that they made physical copies of, which was fun to see. But, yeah, it's good to see not only them selling old games that are really hard to get, but selling repros of those games, which are more accessible, and just, like, seeing the love behind, like, these two guys that had for this, for the retro games, and they're not doing it for the money.
No, not at
really
all.
there, and they're like...
Well, the owner might.
Yeah.
But we're talking about Tristan and Jay at the Miller Place and Smithtown Game On locations. Mario, you actually piqued some interest as well heading out to the store because of your kind of re-interest, I guess you can say.
Well, it's certainly it's a re-interest, limited, but re-interest. I think I'm gonna come to grab a couple of Genesis games, some niche games, and really the Master System is really kind of where my interest is going right now.
That's what you're looking
So
for.
I like to find a couple of good Master System games, maybe a couple I never had played back in the day, based on reputation and whatnot. And what was it? Castlemania makes this power-based converter with the FM sound chip, so I didn't have that back in the day. I had to do with the Master System's ratty sound, and I like to hear how these FM chip games sound. So, it's nice. I grabbed the game today, Reggie Jackson Baseball, which was my favorite baseball game.
You're always trying to sell me on that.
Yeah, you're going to find out. It's good. They have a home run derby in it. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, then maybe.
You traded those Xbox games for the...
Yeah, I got rid of all these old Xbox One games that I never... Well, what is old today anyway? I don't even know. I just bought them. I really never played them, and I find with the Xbox I have, I'm picking up a lot of Game Pass games more than
you do a lot of Game
physical
Pass,
stuff.
yeah.
And the stuff I'm buying tends to be of the real old school stuff, like the Atari flashback games, their little cheap $4.99 versions of Joust and Pac-Man and all that. Like, that's what I like. I like to keep things simple and quick, and
Fair enough.
That's kind of where I'm leaning as far as retro collecting is the Genesis and the Master System.
And you've always talked to me you've talked me into a lot of the Master System stuff and everything like that. And
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. That's where all my money went today. But luckily now with the analog, I have the adapter for the Master System. I do have the original power-based converter, but I only got that recently, and that's more of a collector's item than anything else. But it does play the card games. I forgot.
Yeah.
That's
No,
right.
the original converter does.
That's right. Because I picked up a card game today as well. But I think it's pretty cool the Master System is starting to get some love. And we were talking, because you also... My regret of not bringing the recorder with me, because the conversation at lunch was phenomenal and could have been the episode, but I didn't want to pay the rights to the music that was playing behind us.
Yes.
I kind of made a point to say, like, the three of us is almost like three different levels of gamers.
Right.
In a way. Like, Mario, you're very casual. you love your history of the games, you love your Genesis, your Master System, but you're finding a lot of these games on the Xbox, like you said, on the Game Pass. And you'll start to collect the Master System stuff.
Let's put it, the most current game I bought on the Xbox that's newest is a remake of a Genesis game, Toe Jam and Earl.
Exactly.
Right? You know, and like
true.
my
Very
daughter
true.
and I, we love playing it. We laugh. So
and then like I would say like maybe I'm next level up because I love the history, well, because of this podcast, like the history of the gaming, but I'll go out, I got the analog systems, you know, before that I was doing the Hyperkin, you know, trying to recapture the glory days of these systems. Not that I won't buy them, like if they're available digital, like, you know, like I got the Castlevania collection
right.
on
Same.
Switch.
I have it too.
So I'm good, but saying that like, I'll go out and I love it. So that's me, and then I like have like a lot of the like the old like real weird stuff.
I think in your case, it's very much you are a gamer. You're an enthusiast.
Let me show you how to hold a microphone.
Okay, I'm
There
sorry.
we go.
I think in your case, Larry, I think you're very much a gamer on above level than me. You're also an enthusiast in general. You are a collector of things.
That's my
But
problem. Once I get something zoned in,
I see a lot of this stuff too as investment. Like you're investing into the podcast. You're investing into the things you enjoy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think
with no return. But true.
Right?
No, I got you.
Yeah, right.
And then Billy over here, you know, I'm going to do this the whole podcast.
You got his
now.
name right. It's Steve.
Esteban.
Come on. He's a person just like you and me.
Good old Jack. Run home, Jack. Run home, Jack. You know, I think I told you in the store, you can't leave well enough alone when you purchase an old system.
Can't do it.
Like you told me you modded the Famicom Duo or the
did.
Twin, whatever they call it.
The Famicom Twin.
Yeah,
Correct.
like that's and I love that about you. Don't get me wrong, but like that's your, and so you love the old, but at the same time you take the old and you Frankenstein it to get to the new.
It's funny because I'm playing the old on the new is what I have to do to get it to look like it used to on the old CRTs, because I don't have a CRT anymore.
Yeah,
like we don't have room in the apartment. Like I'm limited to whatever we have now, and the OCD comes in with me remembering exactly how this is supposed to look and feel, and it doesn't do it. So whatever I can get it to back to like what I remember, or even better than it was.
Yeah.
In some cases, like they fixed the mistakes that were like coming back, and like, you know,
what game was it you were telling? Gradius. Talking about fixing mistakes.
Yeah.
Right. Or the Super Mario World, which I'm now going to try and play.
Oh
The
yeah,
slowdown,
to
right?
find the slowdown.
the SA1 hex.
And
yeah.
I'm not 100% sure it's on the Switch version. Oh, and I don't even think I have an original Super Mario World now that I think about it.
No, these are all fan hacks.
Yeah, so
Your Super NT might be able to play it.
probably. No, I meant like to find the slowdown, because I don't remember the slowdown of Super
yeah.
Mario. I remember it in Gradius.
Yep.
I don't. You're talking Super Mario World. Right?
World.
I don't remember it being as bad as
it
it
wasn't.
was in like Super R-Type or Gradius 3.
Oh my God,
But
Super
it was
R-Type was ridiculous.
It was there. My brother was the Super Nintendo player, so he would know better than I would. But I don't remember it being as bad. I remember there were moments where it definitely like got slow, and like you said, sometimes it helped you more than it hurt you.
Yeah.
You know?
Always helped you.
Oh, a lot of people counted on it.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong.
I still do. You play those SA1 hacks, you're relearning the game because it's much harder.
You know, it's funny because we were also talking about muscle memory, and I gave Anthony a hard time on the podcast when he was playing Super Mario World. And like he's 3 levels in. Not 3 worlds. He's 3 levels in. And he's forgetting how to play, and I'm screaming at the television, "What is wrong with you?" And then like I go and try and play the game again. I'm like, all right, no, I can see what he's talking about.
Yeah.
I can see where he may be misfiring.
Feels off.
I've noticed there is a loss of motor skill when it
Big
comes
loss of motor skill.
I'll
What are you
try
kidding
to
me?
play a shooter on the Genesis, like what's on the mini, the Darius games, right?
Oh yes, that's on the Genesis
And,
Mini, Darius. Yeah.
I'll be lucky if I get to the third part of the screen, you know, without dying 10 times. But if I play like an Atari game that's really slow, like so, I think my video game motor skills are reduced to that of a 5-year-old now. So because I cannot play the games I used to beat like nothing. With any sort of proficiency, I could try. Maybe I'm just not trying hard enough. Maybe I'm just burnt out. I don't know, but yeah, I kind of suck right now. You know?
What and between the two of you as well, because again, I I just go nuts when I'm in Game On. But like any games that maybe like you came across, just nostalgia feel. We're like, oh my God, I can't believe I totally forgot about this game or something like that. Anything come across that?
When we went to Smithtown, your favorite, Sega Genesis Pit Fighter.
Oh, Jesus,
Pit Fighter.
It's a god.
You can leave.
It's kind of like a guilty pleasure. Like it's so bad. It's like watching The Room. It's so bad it's good.
I did not.
We all knew that it didn't play great when we played it back in the day. But my friends and I, one friend in particular, we would just have so much fun playing it and just talking the trash and reciting lines from cheesy Van Damme movies that it became fun. And hard driving was kind of like the same thing on the Genesis. The frame rate is awful. The game barely controls. You got to play it in automatic, because if you try manual, you're never going to move. But once you got going and you just would drive around the tracks, it was kind of like cheesy fun, like a fun time killer. So like that kind of stuff. And the good nostalgia one, which again, it might not too many people are crazy about it. It's makes the Shadow of the Beast, and we looked at that once before. You hate the way I'm using this mic. I don't
have to call you out on it now.
Yeah, you should, and I deserve it.
Because that's why normally we would all wear headphones.
It's just weird. I'm not used to this.
Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
No one is. Trust me. I'm forcing you into this.
I feel like it's going to smack me in the face.
This is all because Anthony is on assignment. So
this is his fault. Right?
Well, totally. I'm going to blame it on him. But I'm glad you guys had a good time. I'm glad you had a blast there.
It was fun talking to Jay and Tristan.
Yep, honestly.
That's a lot of fun.
Like I said, won't be the only time there. We'll definitely be back for other times. But, some other stuff we were talking about at lunch, and if anything pops up in your heads, definitely speak up or forever hold your peace. It was funny how I was trying to explain this to Mario, and Jack, you might have a better idea about it. We were talking about Billy Mitchell, the most evil person on the planet.
Billy Mitchell.
Apparently suing everyone, which I didn't realize.
Yep.
Right? In fact, let's talk nice about him, just in case, because this is under my name and Anthony's name. So, but we were talking about how kind of like, I feel like during his Pac-Man perfect gameplay, he was like manipulating the game to the point where he was like reprogramming it live in front of you. And there's also something on YouTube, which I might be able to pull it up, of, again, someone as they play, I want to say Super Mario World, might have even been the first one, I don't know,
right.
Literally reprogramming the game. I mean, I know Mario.
I'm blown away that this can be done in general, like that you can do these hacks with your control pad that, I guess...
Not even control pad, just pure gameplay.
Just through the gameplay, you can hack the game. I think that's wild.
I mean, this goes back to what we're talking about, right? Like, nothing's perfect. Mm-hmm. Games have bugs in them that exploit both the hardware and the software and everything else. And if you find some of these bugs, and these people are coming in there and dedicating a lot of time to trying to find these micro little bugs, like even Super Mario Bros. 3, if you find some of these like glitches that people are doing, it looks awesome.
It does, yeah.
Hey, you remember in Super Mario 3... that if you got on one of like the white pads and you ducked for 5 seconds, you'd go behind it. Was that?
No, that's in the game. That's part of the game. That's how you got the whistle,
the white block. Going down.
Right. That was an intentional secret. Okay.
Yep. Because Super Mario Bros. 3 is an actual play, as Miyamoto has told us. That's why it looks like a play. That's why there are acts, at the end of the level.
The curtain in the beginning.
Curtain in the beginning, curtain at the end.
Super Mario Bros. 2 was a dream, right?
It was also because they reskinned a different game.
Doki Doki Panic. Yep.
Do you have a lot of Famicom now that you have the Twin?
Quite a bit, because when we went to Japan, I loaded up.
Oh, there you go. I'm not going to blame you on that one.
It was fun, because it was just fun to talk to some of the people at the retro game stores in Japan. Mm-hmm. Like, once they saw that you're there just because you love to be there, we had some really great conversations with my friend and like them, and we're just talking a lot, and we got a good haul from them. So. Any
good disc? Like for the actual disc system?
Yeah. I picked up both Zeldas. I picked up Excite Bike, the Versus.
Yes.
And I picked up a few other things.
That was actually on the Switch, Excite Bike Versus.
Yeah.
That was all the Play Choice versions, right? Like they had a Super Mario Versus.
Well, the Versus is like no, not the Play Choice. They were standalone machines.
Oh, okay.
The Play Choice was just a glorified NES.
Right.
With a different color palette.
Exactly, yeah.
That's right, because the Super Mario verse had a slightly different color palette and was more difficult. Am I right?
It was definitely more difficult.
Yeah.
In fact, I think it kind of merged Super Mario Bros. 1 and 2 a little bit. And again, it's available on the Switch.
Wow.
So there you go. just trying to think some other stuff that we were talking about today. Anything new in the world, like with the Mr. Project or anything hacking? Is anyone getting an N64? I need an N64.
Not anytime soon.
Jesus,
Nope.
My brother's looking for one too. I think he's going to be on the. So I'll keep you. You might even have one. Maybe I have one downstairs. I gotta look.
Maybe, I don't know.
Saturn and PS1 are going to be the next big cores.
Those are going to be the next ones?
But the arcade scene with Hotego and like everyone else doing the crazy stuff is just amazing. So
I can't wait to get my hands on that.
yeah, it's so
It's going to
great.
be terrible.
Yeah.
You think the Voltron is expensive? Just wait.
Buy one
You
arcade
showed
board, you'll fund, right?
incredible restraint today. I give you a lot of credit.
did.
All right, so what happened was at Game On, I'm not going to tell you which one. I'll make you drive to both of them. But they'd have like this 30th anniversary die-cast Voltron. And if you ask them about it and tell them that the Retro Gamer sent them to you, I will make sure that they tell you it is not available. But it is this gorgeous metal Voltron that I want now. I'm not going to say the price necessarily. It might have already been said on the podcast, but I still don't want to say it. Just respect for Game On.
I won't either.
But it is up there. And I'm telling you, next paycheck, if I show up and it's still there, it's coming home with me.
That's fun.
You just got to let your conscience be your guide, Larry. That's all.
Guilty conscious.
I'm
It's like
sorry,
Eminem.
I was the one who pointed it out.
You sure did,
I
you
did
jerk.
not expect that reaction. You
I
you were
love
ready to
Voltron.
buy it on
I
the
was-
spot.
I-
lit up.
You were
Voltron's one of my
literally sweating. I saw your forehead like, dripping. I was like,
Voltron's one of my favorite cartoons. Again, it's what got me into the Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin at least, Power Rangers. And, again, looking at it, legit die-cast metal, not the cheap plastic like it used to be, though I would have taken plastic. And it just looks amazing.
Yeah.
I tell you, I remember the old one from the 80s that you would connect together. It looked like it was about the same in scale. It looked like
I think it
about
was
the
exactly the same in
size.
scale. Yeah, that's what it looked like.
It was definitely sculpted better. It was definitely made nicer. The head movement on the arms, it was a nice thing. But tremendous temptation, which I didn't think it would be. But I saw you change color. You turned flush. You started sweating.
I couldn't.
You were shaking a little. We were, we're a little worried about you. And then you showed tremendous restraint.
Drove me nuts.
I actually took a picture of it on my phone, Larry.
I took a picture too. Not of me though. You have a picture of me?
Yeah.
No, I just have a picture
Oh.
of the pieces. Yeah.
I'll
Jack
text it
might
to you
have.
guys.
Oh, okay.
I got
Jack
both
has a
of you
picture of me
looking at it.
starting to cry. You bums. So,
The biggest shocker though was some of these games that I thought I'd just be able to pick up, how much they've skyrocketed in price.
honestly, and this I don't think is anything from game. We'll give a price range, but tell them about because you've been looking for something and it kind of threw you off.
Oh yeah,
And preface, the prices that we saw today are right on the money.
or less than market value.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So we went on price charting and it was way less than market value. So hats off to them. And they had really great condition stuff. This was not like the torn up stuff. that you
No,
find on
not
eBay.
not junk.
No, it was not garbage. But
It was a what? It was a Super Mario Bros. 3. A regular version, not the variant, not the left-hand variant or anything.
I looked through my collection, and one of my friends came over. He's like, "Let's play Super Mario Bros. 3." Of course, let's play it. I looked for the cart, couldn't find it.
Wow.
And I'm pretty sure this was one of those that my mom sold to GameStop. And I'm just died inside. So we're trying to find one now. And the cheapest ones we could find on eBay now were $65, complete in box, but they were still terrible condition. Mm-hmm. And now today or last week, they skyrocketed to over $140.
That's insane. And overnight, I've seen it happen with the pop vinyls.
That's nuts.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and
Price.
that's condition agnostic. That's just complete in box. That just means
Right.
it has all the things.
It
In it.
has everything.
So I'm not willing to pay.
No, I don't blame you.
That's I mean,
I don't blame you. So, but yeah, no, like I said, Game On, very successful.
Awesome place.
Before I know, Jack, you're gonna have somewhere to go in a little bit. So before you head out, I do want to mention one of the rumors. We might wrap up a little bit later, after he leaves. But I do want to mention this. Apparently, the strong rumor, nothing official by Nintendo, but the strong rumor is that Nintendo is going to be throwing some Game Boy games and Game Boy Color games onto the Switch to add to their NES library and their Super NES library. First of all, either one of you, history of handhelds, or at least Game Boys?
DMG up.
Okay.
I messed around with my brother's Game Boy, and I think I had a Game Boy Color very briefly, but I
Game
never
Boy
really.
Color, all right.
Yeah, I never really messed with too many handhelds.
Besides that, nothing, huh?
Tiger Electronics, the old dot
I bought a new
football
one.
game from
Yep.
1981.
Yes.
I played that a little bit.
Awesome.
And those little old arcade things.
Oh yes. I had
Kong.
a Popeye and a Donkey Kong.
Yeah, I had a
the little
Donkey
ones.
Kong.
So pure rumor. Everyone's speculating it, but it seems to be getting a lot of traction that it might be legit.
Makes sense for them to do it.
It would. Don't get me wrong, because I feel like it would be next in line. A lot of people are going to say N64, but no, Game Boy has a great lineup. And someone posted just real quick, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 games that would make good launch games if they do this. So just to, again, this is from at the NCS Master. I don't know who that is, but again, this is their idea of what a launch would look like, and I'm just going to read through these real quick. Super Mario Land, Super Mario Land 2, Wario Land, Tetris, Kirby's Dream Land. So far, those 5 home runs. Metroid 2, Donkey Kong, which was the first game to be fully compatible with the Super Game Boy, and a great version of Donkey Kong. Pokemon, now he's showing the Pikachu edition, but probably any Pokemon. Mole Mania, Kirby's Dream Land 2, Mega Man 5. That'd be a push, because that's a tough one to find anyway. Mega Man 5. The Final Fantasy Legend, Donkey Kong Land, the Castlevania Adventure, and Mario's Picross.
Picross was fun. I like
Picross was I think the first Game Boy game I downloaded on the 3DS. So, not too bad of a lineup.
Not too bad.
I'm sorry, I don't remember if you said, did you mention any Zelda? Was there any Zelda?
No, actually there was. Link's Awakening, right? Which would really be the one.
Right.
I mean, they'd probably do Ages and Seasons, but you'd want to do Link. Well, Link's Awakening is coming out on their Game & Watch.
That's true.
That comes out in November.
Yes.
And Link's Awakening, I will put up against any console game as far as quality. Yeah. But even with these, you got the 3 Super Mario Lands. Those work. Tetris was a pack-in game.
Yep.
That's how I fell in love with Tetris. The Kirby games are what they are. Pokemon is what it is.
I don't see them releasing
Tetris was a big deal back then.
Tetris was huge. And this version of Tetris, though simple,
that's what
very
put
fun.
Game Boy on the map. Tetris was like even for the non-game player, like adults, that was a game I remember adults buying Game Boys for.
Oh, no, totally.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
And, of course, Mario's Picross. I love the Picross series. I fell in love way later. But I absolutely fell in love. I got the Picross, the Japanese Super Picross for the Super Nintendo, both physical copy and it's on the Switch. Nice. But yeah, these line up you never really played the Game Boy games, just like any you would think besides Zelda that would make a great game that they would reflect on the Switch.
No, that
it's pretty much right there.
Yeah.
Because not a lot of third party.
Exactly. So, I'm trying to think of first party titles that Nintendo has the rights to.
Well, I remember Konami had a couple of Ninja Turtle games that were really
their first
good.
Ninja Turtle game was awesome on the Game Boy.
The first 2, right?
I'm trying to think if I even have the second one, but the Fall of the Foot Clan was fantastic.
I
In fact, that box right over there, I know this is a visual, but that box there is all my Game Boy stuff.
Oh, wow.
So, and Game Boy Advance. So it's all shoved in there. But something like Alleyway, that's a version of Breakout, stuff like that. I'm trying to think what I even have on the 3DS, because that really would help. Because that means they already have, I guess, license for them. And maybe some of the earlier Mega Man games, not as much Mega Man 5, but as much as the earlier. But I would be totally excited for the Game Boy on there. I was telling Jack before, every 2 weeks, I'm looking to purchase a Super Game Boy 2. Get that nice blue cart in there. And of course, the only difference is like the run, like the clock inside of it, so it runs like a normal Game Boy. I didn't know it when I was 12. Am I going to know it at 41? Probably not. So who knows? And then to hook up to, here's the best thing about the Super Game Boy 2, and then we can start to wrap up for you so you're not late for where you got to go. The Super Game Boy 2 allowed you to link a Game Boy to it. Yep. So one person would be playing on the Game Boy, the other person would be playing on the television. Not sure how fair that is.
Yeah, I think the guy on the TV has a little bit of an advantage, but just a little bit.
Just a tad. Just a tad.
If you squint really hard, the Game Boy guy.
All right, like I said, Jack, I don't want you to be late. I know you got somewhere to go. So
10, 15 more minutes.
Okay, no, that works then. That's fine. I'm trying to think some other news that we've been seeing happening here. Mostly this is going to be a Nintendo episode because this is the only website I'm looking at.
Says the guy who bought all these Master System games right now.
All right,
why don't you go through what you got today?
Fine. Hopefully my mother's not listening. So I did get a lot of. I could have just bought the Voltron. In all honesty, through recommendation of both you guys, I picked up NHL '94 for the Sega CD.
Rich will be proud.
No, it's a very good version of the game. has a couple extras. I do notice a slight difference in animation.
It better be if it's a CD version.
And a lot of people consider 94 the best in the series of that age. That 94 was the high point of the... Although I have heard more recently and through these YouTube videos that some of the later versions of NHL were really good, like 97, 98.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Like they...
You know, now you can purchase NHL 94, but it's got the current rosters.
I've heard
But
that.
it plays
Yeah,
like
I've heard
NHL.
that.
No, for real.
Oh,
It plays
really?
like it. My buddy plays it all the time.
That's
It's
amazing.
NHL 94, but current roster.
And didn't NHL put out like one of the newer versions where you can play using like the old graphics?
No, that's what I'm talking about. I think
Oh,
I don't think it's standalone. I think you have to buy
Right.
NHL 22.
Right.
But
that's what I
it's like a
heard, yeah.
bonus that
Like
works with
yeah.
it, and it 94, but with current roster.
That's amazing.
So
I always liked NHL PA 93.
that's my favorite of all time. NHL PA 93 for Genesis.
But most of my friends who played hockey for real and love the NHL and they always preferred 94.
The world says 94. Wasn't 94 in Morats? Is that the one
Zero auto goalie, though. Turn that off as soon as you get in the game.
Will do. I picked up a new Tiger Electronics has and this is from a couple years ago, but I just picked one up now. These aren't even rechargeable. I got to put batteries in them. Oh man.
So retro.
Tiger Electronics. The disappointment begins before you even take it out of the box.
Tiger Electronics Transformers G2. That's just for fun. That's just going to be for
I
fun.
didn't even see you pick that up.
For the Atari, Towering Inferno.
That looked like an interesting game.
And to be fair, I really didn't even get a chance to play a lot of it, so I don't even know what it's going to be like.
Look fun.
But we'll give it a shot.
Looked like fun. Yeah,
Looks like fun.
yeah, that really did.
Thanks to Patman QC on YouTube, who's been doing a 6-part, soon-to-be Part 7 release of Batman Returns games, literally Batman Returns, I picked up for Game Gear. Batman Returns, which I remember loving playing this game. And I got it in box.
Yep.
Kind of.
And I think the Mega SG has an adapter for the Game Gear.
I never played the Game Gear.
Oh, absolutely. I have it.
No.
Yep. Oh,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
so you're golden.
Yep.
I know we talked about the Genesis and Sega CD versions. of
Yeah, I
Batman
played it
Returns
this morning.
today.
I wasn't happy with it.
Yeah, you just...
I kinda forgot.
With the Sega CD, the only thing worthwhile about it is the driving sequences. And they're
Yeah.
probably dated by today's standards.
That's okay.
The
though.
platforming even then, I always thought was awful. You know, I had the Sunsoft Batman Genesis
Yes.
one, which it was I don't think it was as good as the NES ultimately, but it did hew closer to the
Yeah.
movie with the scenes and how
Yes,
it played
true.
out.
That's the NES.
I remember playing Batman Returns. My cousin had it, got it on the Genesis. It was one of the first games I can ever remember thinking as a teenager, this is unplayable.
But the Super Nintendo version is phenomenal.
Super Nintendo version, it's more like Final
Yeah,
Fight.
absolutely. But also Castlevania. You know, you talk about getting the power base
Yes.
converter. Castlevania also, I think, is selling a Master System converter for the Game Gear. Because the Game Gear is basically a Master System.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, pretty interesting. Okay, moving on with all Master System, basically. Action Fighter, which, again, I love the reading from the back. Take the motorcycle from Hang On, equip it with high-tech weaponry, and give it the ability to transform itself into an aircraft or car, and you've got Spy Hunter. I mean, Action Fighter.
I mean, the other selling point about that they're not going to put on there is that, and basically rip off Spy Hunter completely.
Basically.
Because it's basically Spy Hunter on the Master System.
I picked up, and again, this is Retro Sutra, which I follow. Did a great compilation of Ghostbuster games, and again, Mario has mentioned this in the past, but the Master System version of Ghostbusters looks like the best one of all.
I find it to be the only playable one.
And hopefully it doesn't have the NES opening.
Ghostbusters.
I don't think it did. I think it just played the theme, and I think what happens is you'll see the lyrics scroll across at the bottom of the bouncing ball. I think that's what it did, but graphically it looks nice. The controls are a little more forgiving than the NES version, and it's just a better made version of that, which is like, you know, you go to each spot, you capture ghosts, you make some money, you buy equipment, like a franchise kind of game, you know.
Of course, because I have the adapter for the Sega card, so I picked up my second card game, Ghost House, which looks interesting.
I gotta know how those card games are. I never.
We'll
owned
try it in
one.
a little while.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that. Check that
Yeah.
out. And then I picked up, actually, only because I like the box. You know, the Famicom games had some good boxes, and sometimes you think it's one of those porno games, but it's not. Namcot Final Lap, which looks like Well, looks like Final Lap.
All those boxes were like that on the Famicom?
Not all of them, no.
No,
Were they cardboard?
No, yeah.
That kind of reminds me of the Sega boxes in a way.
It does.
Or
It's a hard plastic.
Old VHS ones. Remember those really fancy
Yes,
ones? Yeah.
clamshell. No, because I have some boxed Famicom games over there, and they're just regular box games. But I figured pick that up because, like I said, it just looked pretty interesting. Other than that, that's basically about it on my haul. As usual, I go way too crazy.
What was the one that you had to put back?
Oh yes. Oh, that was the military game.
A Rescue Mission?
Rescue Mission.
Right.
So I was going to pick up Rescue Mission for the Master System. Looks amazing. Basically, you're on a rail system the entire time. We looked it up on YouTube. It looked pretty cool. And yes, you probably could use a cartridge.
Right.
But when we went to ring it up, Jay was like, "Oh, please play this on a CRT screen." So in my head, I'm like, "No, I don't have a CRT. I have a regular television. What do you want from me?" And then he just casually, because I didn't even know, I didn't even read the box fully.
See,
He's like, yeah, well, because of the light gun. I'm like, what? The light gun game. All right, I got to put that back on the shelf.
I thought I grabbed that box, looked at it. I thought it said controller pad.
You probably could use it, but again, if you got to use a controller pad
Maybe
or a
it's a
light gun,
cursor based on
exactly. It's like Punisher on NES.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No controller for
Is there really a good Punisher game besides the arcade game?
I don't think so, man.
And I never even really played the arcade game.
Yeah. I know. I've heard the Genesis adaptation's not that great.
I might have played the arcade game at Barcade. I'm trying to think. I don't remember. But that was my whole. Jack, did you end up with anything?
Yeah, I bought a Wii U Pro controller again.
There you go.
Because mine broke.
There you go.
Not through its own fault. I ran it over with something that I shouldn't have.
Wow. All right.
And I picked up some weird...
He rage quitted.
Yeah, I just rage quitted with the Trailblazer.
That is rage quitting.
That is commitment to
Anthony
rage
has told
quitting.
the story of whipping the N64 controller, which I was there for, across the room during a game of WWE No Mercy. And, with the way those N64 controllers are, it could kill someone. And, he chucked it. It might have been embedded into the wall, I'm not 100% sure. But running the Trailblazer over a controller, that is dedication.
So, finish what you got, and then I'll tell my rage story.
One more was a little drawing pad app.
That thing is
for the
really
Wii.
cool, though.
Yeah, it just looked cool.
I think it's called U-Draw. Yeah.
U-Draw. Yeah, that's right.
Pretty cool. You'll hack the hell out of it. So Lord knows what you'll turn it into. What were you gonna say?
Skynet.
Just a little story about rage. I think it was rage quitting. Thank God I got it to work again. But I used to have my stuff when I was a teenager. I lived in Westbury. I had all my stuff in a basement, and I had the old TV. It was a Zenith.
There you go.
And
a magnet box.
it was in one of those old unit pieces, right? So I had my Genesis, and I was getting very frustrated with Mortal Kombat 2, to the point where now my unit piece was in the middle of the basement room. It wasn't up against the wall. Okay, so that's kind of an
weird.
important...
Okay.
I split the room in half.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like I had my bed on one side, and I had a game room and a guest room for others, right? So I got so mad, I threw my controller to the floor, and I karate kicked the TV, which went through the panel. This was a 19-inch TV, so it had a little weight to it. Through the panel, and I heard a big pop. Oh, jeez. And it hit the floor. Now, the TV still miraculously worked. The plastic was a little split at the bottom. And what was happening from that day afterwards, I couldn't get the remote to work, so I had to manually turn it off. And every time I hit the power button, I'd get an arc flash. I think the grounding broke, and I would get zapped every time I turned that damn thing off. It lasted me a long time after that, but it was never quite the same.
Still had it.
I lost to...
the constant memory of a
I
loss.
think I was using Reptile, and I lost to the guy with the teeth and the knives for hands. What was it, Baraka?
Baraka, yeah.
Yeah, it was...
You got a toasty out of it.
Yeah, I got
and
toasted
it didn't work too well.
right. Yeah, but I remember kicking that damn thing.
Fantastic. Rage quitting, folks. All the rage. Oh, that's the last thing I want to mention, just real fast. So, and then we'll wrap it up. The Atari VCS. I posted this earlier today.
Oh, yeah.
This is just kind of for the three of you out there, besides me, who have an Atari VCS. Apparently, there are 3 new apps on it for free that you can download, because through the Atari VCS, you can now play the Amazon Luna, you can play Google Stadia, and you can play Xbox Cloud Gaming. I think that is pretty interesting and might be a very big selling point for the Atari VCS, in my opinion.
You know what I'm curious in your expert opinion, Jack about the VCS. Before you go, have him turn it on and listen to that fan go.
They kind of fixed it. They
Did
kind
they
of not like the
really?
very first time.
Because when he first got it, and we were playing it. That fan was going. It was going.
I thought it was going to take off.
It was a
Yeah.
hot
Yeah, I think through a firmware upgrade, they
So
kind of was able to fix
that
everything.
lessened.
I think it did. Yeah.
What is it? An FPGA device or what is it?
No, I don't. I'm not 100% sure. I don't think so because it doesn't take any physical media. So I think it is what it is. But the fan was so loud. But I think they kind of fixed it in post, if you will. Because that first, actually, I do have a video of it. I was sitting across the room. You just hear.
It was very loud. Like I thought the thing was going to blow up.
Honestly, it was crazy. But apparently now you can play Google Stadia, Amazon Luna for the 4 of you out there, and Xbox Cloud Gaming. So now a reason to buy an Atari VCS. So
Nice.
with that, I think we'll wrap it up. Like I said, it's going to be a short episode, and with no video, it'll be very boring to watch. A very long episode, so we'll call it at this point. Jack, do you have anything? I don't know if you promote anything or whatever you want.
Nope.
No?
As usual. Just
Awesome.
me.
I like it. Mario, anything?
I promote you guys. Listen in on these guys.
All right, fantastic. And yes, follow us everywhere. Just do a search for the Retro Gamers Podcast on
Stalk
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram TV, which if you find us on Instagram, will be Instagram TV. Again, just search Retro Gamers Podcast. Email us, email@theretrogamers.com. Remember, if you have an unpopular opinion, send it on in. We'll talk about it. If you have an oddball game that you remember, something kind of out of the blue, let us know about that as well. And Mario, Billy, Ryan, Reynold, Jack, thank you very much, both of you, for joining me on this episode. Really
no
appreciate
problem.
it.
It was fun today, man. It was a good
thanks
time.
for today.
No, absolutely. And folks, with that, we will catch you next week on the Retro Gamers Podcast.